Hi guys, Tyler Phillips here with Dr. Thornley's Hay Balancer. Today I'm at Star City Farm in beautiful Spanish Fork, Utah with Brinkley Phillips. And Brinkley, tell us a little bit about what you do at Star City Farm.
We train kids' horses and sell kids' horses and teach riding lessons to all levels and train barrel horses and sell barrel horses.
Awesome. So you got introduced to Dr. Thornley's Hay Balancer in a little bit of an interesting way.
Yes.
I was looking at a local social media board and you had adopted a horse called Hope.
Yep.
And you and I started chatting a little bit. Tell us a little bit about Hope.
Hope was a 13-year-old quarter horse, but you never would have known. She could have been a 30-year-old Arabian is what she looked like when we adopted her. Just super malnourished, in really bad shape. The guy just didn't know what he was doing. He was just an unknowledgeable horse owner. He really liked Hope and wasn't purposely treating her badly. He just didn't know how to take care of a horse. So we offered to buy Hope from him, and he said yes, and we just kind of took all the right actions to get her healthy again.
And so when I met you, you had her at the vet. I don't know if it was the first or second time, but you were, when I drove up, you were curry combing her, and her hair was just coming off, and underneath was nothing but skin.
Yep.
And that was one of the problems, in addition to just being way underweight. So the vet told you, hey, just get her on a good forage diet. You were using alfalfa, but you just weren't seeing what you wanted.
Yeah, we were actually at that time using a grass alfalfa mix and just feeding her as much as she would eat, and it just, she was gaining a little bit of weight, but as far as like coat wise and hoof wise and stuff, just wasn't seeing very much. It had only been a couple weeks, but just not the results I was hoping for. And then met with you and got her started on that hay balancer, and within 2 weeks, all of her coat was shed out. All that thick, nasty coat that she couldn't really lose was shed out, and she grew new, healthy hair underneath, which was great because she hadn't grown any new hair underneath. She was just bald in the patches that did fall out. So. And
her body condition, as we can see in the photos, from 0 to 30 days to 40 days to 45 days, it's hard to even believe that's the same horse.
It is. Drastic transformation.
Yeah, and that's just fantastic. We love to see that. But you know, not all horses go through that kind of transformation, and a good example of that is this Palomino behind us, and this is Orlando. He's also been using Hay Balancer, and tell us why you put him on Hay Balancer along with his hay and what you've seen in him over the last few months.
So when we bought him, he looked good and wasn't malnourished, and nothing was wrong with him. He just didn't hold weight on his top line very well. So we put him on to hopefully hold weight on that top line, which within 2 weeks his top line was already filling out really nicely, and his coat actually changed from a lighter Palomino color to a really dark golden Palomino color, which you can't tell here because his winter coat's coming in, but he looked a lot healthier, but you'd have no idea. I didn't know he was unhealthy. His coat was still nice. It just wasn't a deep, rich color like it was on Hay Balancer.
And we can see in the photos both the change in the coat color, but also the photo is really nice because that top line, you see for knowledgeable horse owners, a pretty dramatic effect over a 30-day period. And as people investigate supplements, one of the things they look for is that, and a lot of times it just doesn't help because they feed them all this stuff and it doesn't do anything.
Right.
Now, a third horse we want to talk about is, I think, just out of frame in our camera, and this is a gray barrel horse called Vegas.
Yep.
Now, Vegas, if anybody looked at him, would say he looks fantastic. I mean, he's a big horse, muscly, but tell us a little bit about why you put Vegas on Hay Balancer and what you've seen with him.
So, the reason we put Vegas on Hay Balancer wasn't anything physical, obviously. He looks great. He's in great shape. His coat's great. He just wasn't giving all his try, I guess is what you'd say, in his barrels. You'd watch his videos and he was running, but you could really just tell he wasn't running his hardest. And so I decided to give it a go on him since it had worked so well on the other two horses, and started him on it right at the beginning of pro rodeo season this year, and you could just tell a big change. I don't know if he was lacking something or what, but it was a big change for him. In all his videos, you can tell there's much more try and go and energy in there than there was before.
Yeah. So what would you say to the person who has multiple horses? The horses have kind of maybe some different things the person wants to see, but they're using sometimes, like somebody I talked to yesterday, 4, 5, 6, as many as 7. I've even talked to somebody who was feeding as many as 12 different supplements. What would you say to that person now that you've kind of, maybe you've been through that, maybe you haven't, but tell me about that.
No, I have been exactly through that. That's where I was 5, almost 6 years ago. Same thing. I was doing that with all my horses, and we actually had one colic and die. The vets think it was because he was on too many supplements, we were feeding him, gosh, quite a bit of grain, morning and night, a lot. And that was kind of the end of grain for me. Like, I was like, that's not worth it. It's not worth whatever the extra amount of healthiness grain can give me. It's not worth it to me because it's now too scary. So I stayed off grain for a long time until you offered to sponsor Hope with the hay balancer, and just studying it and reading all the information on it, really it's above and beyond anything else. You're not feeding 5-6 pounds morning and night. You're not feeding an amount that their stomach shouldn't be made to handle. You're just feeding a little bit, and it's only the exact things they need, not a lot of extra random stuff thrown in, which is what I love.
Perfect. Well, guys, everybody has a different experience, but we think you'll love Dr. Thornley's Hay Balancer. Visit us at haybalancer.com. Make your supplementing routine easier, more economical, and a heck of a lot more effective. I'm Tyler Phillips. Have a great day.